Hi everyone, and welcome back to my Telegram channel. This is Joshua Bunker from JB Trading, and I'm so happy that I've had so much interest on this VIP group because it really shows that you guys are very committed and really want to be successful at trading. So I wanted to quickly run through some psychology, and I just wanted to give an example because what a lot of people don't realize is that trading is a skill. It's probably one of the hardest skills in the world to master because a lot of the time when you're going through a rough patch, a bad part, and you go speak to someone about it, there's not very many people that are supportive. For example, your wife, your husband, your family, your friends, because they're not on the same journey. So what you have to remember is it's one of the most lonely skills, and it's very hard to keep yourself motivated sometimes. So I just wanted to just go over this example of a car and driving. I've said it a few times before, but I really want to hammer this home with people and really show you that actually trading is a skill. Like any other skill, an athlete, driving a car, Formula One drivers, any sort of skill, it takes time to perfect and to master. And the ones that are very good at this are the ones that take the time and actually put in the effort day in, day night and master the skill, right? So what I want to say about the driving is if you think about a car, right, and you're learning to drive. So a lot of you would probably remember when you first started to learn to drive. So say you got 10, 15 books and you actually read all the books, took notes, write down everything you can. You think to yourself, right, I've read 10 books. I must be good at trading now. I mean, not trading, must be good at driving now because I've read all the books. So what happens? You buy a car, start the engine up, you jump in, and what happens? You forget everything you've learned. And the reason you forget everything you've learned is because it all happens at the same time. You go in and you have to remember so much. So for example, you have to remember to change gears. You have to remember how to change gears. You have to remember the clutch control, the mirrors. You have to remember to keep up to the right speed. You have to remember so many things that it all comes to you at once and your mind goes blank. And this example I like a lot because it's very similar to trading. Unless you've built up enough experience, the same thing will happen. I can easily say to you right now, trade this pattern. And once you trade this pattern 10 times, 8 times out of 10 is going to win, right? And you might believe me or you might not believe me. But once you start taking a couple of losses, you'll think to yourself, well, actually, is it going to work out? Is this the right strategy, or do I need to change the strategy? And to be honest, this is the main reason that a lot of professional traders backtest. They backtest something that someone has told them. So for example, I want you guys here in this VIP channel to really put the effort in, really hammer this home. And the way you can do that is by speeding up your process by backtesting. Because like with a car, the more and more you drive it, the more it becomes second nature. It's the same with backtesting. With backtesting, you can speed up the experience process because what you're doing is you're going through the chart, candle by candle, going forward, and you're learning from your mistakes. So you might see the setup that I've given you, and you might see it and say, well, actually, when the chart looks like this, it works out better. Or when the chart looks like this, it doesn't work out better. So then you're creating your own experience on that pair, on that chart. You might say, well, hold on, if I'd have put my stops a bit further away, I would have had less losses. Or if I'd have put my stops a bit closer, I would have got more percentage. So all of these sort of things you're building up the experience so that when you do jump on the trade, it becomes second nature. You see a setup, you jump on the setup, and what happens? You take it without fear because you know that over the past year, you've backtested that 8 times out of 10, it works out. And it works out because you know exactly the stop placement and exactly what that setup should look like. So that's one thing I would love you guys to do is to really, if I show you something here, I want you to do the work and actually test it out for yourself. Because like in a car, you can get Lewis Hamilton, who is the most amazing Formula One driver in the world, or one of them, and he could take you around the track 10, 15, 20 times. Then he tells you, okay, mate, you jump in the driver's seat. I'll sit next to you. Do you think you can go around that track like he does? No. And why is that? The reason that is because he has built up experience. He has built up knowing when to brake, when to accelerate, when to turn at certain speeds, what speeds. All of these things he's built up over time because he's probably been around that track hundreds of thousands of times, right? So it's the same thing that I want you guys to do. I can show you as many times how I'm entering a trade, how I'm taking profit from a trade. But unless you've done it yourself and back tested it and seen it, then you're going to have the experience to actually go forward and make the profit and get into that trade and say, well, actually, I know that this trade, even if it doesn't work out, that's fine, because I know that through my back testing for the last year, 7, 8 times out of 10, it works out. And when it does work out, it gives me huge percentage, right? Another thing with psychology is a lot of people are worried about losing. With this strategy, you don't need to worry about losing. So our losses, we cap them at 1%, right? Now, when you win, your winners just go, right? The winners, you just follow the market and let it go. And the example I put up on the channel, I think it was the first video I'd done, that you could see that there was 36% that you made, right? Just following the market and scaling in. Okay, so if you start taking 1 or 2 or 3 losses, that's 3%. Do you think that psychologically you're going to care, knowing, because you've back tested, that you know that around the corner you could make 10, 15, 20, 30%? So this is what I want you guys to really think about, is that if you're serious about this, I really want you to take it seriously and really do your homework, because that's the only way you're going to get better. You can sit there and say to me that, oh, I back tested a year's worth of data, but I won't be there when you hit the trade. I won't be there when you're all of a sudden going into a negative and you're thinking, oh my God, is this the right setup? Well, you shouldn't think like that, because you'd have done your homework and you'd know that that is the right setup. So just a quick one there, guys, on psychology. And again, this is Joshua Bunker from JB Trading, and I will see you soon.